Hey folks, welcome back and welcome to the next update on celebrity signings autographs. I appreciate you coming back to watch them, so thank you very much. As long as people are watching, I'm happy to keep doing these, but if we get to a point where people aren't watching anymore, I guess that's time to pull the plug. I've got an Instagram channel where I log all of my most up-to-date successes, purchases, TTMs, all that sort of stuff. So please have a look at the details in the description. Please go and have a look if you want to see more up-to-date responses and things that I've had to add to the collection. But let's crack straight on. So the first one is a purchase. Obviously, this is Roy Kinnear, very famous British actor, probably best known for playing Veruca Salt's father in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the much better Gene Wilder version of the story. And I mean, tons and tons of other things. He sadly died, I believe, back in the late 80s, early 90s. I think it was late 80s, while he was filming Return of the Musketeers. He fell off his horse, broke his hip, I think it was, and sadly passed away from the injury. Didn't have Roy in the collection. Had some sort of credit, I suppose, one about description on eBay for having sold some various things. Did a bit of research. This was a really nice piece. Wasn't asking a lot for it in the scheme of things for a deceased famous actor. So I had to snap this one up. Let's bring it up full screen so you can see it. It is dedicated, but for those who watch my videos know I don't care about dedications. It doesn't bother me. It's just about getting people in the collection that matter or part of films or TV shows that I really like and really appreciate. And I love Willy Wonka. It's a great film. So yeah, really pleased to add Roy Kinnear into the collection. Next up is a signed book. Honestly, don't know whether this is real or not. I just took a punt on it. It was £1. It was a charity shop purchase. Weirdly, this is my second now signed book from Monica Lewinsky. This is Monica's Story by Andrew Morton. The first book I had, she's just signed on a book plate, Monica. But you'll see with this one, it is a full signature. Now, I've no idea why anybody would sign Monica Lewinsky's name in it if it wasn't signed by her. But to be perfectly honest, it was £1. I know I've said this before, but when I find books like this for so cheap, the worst thing that happens is a charity gets £1 and I get a book that'll end up going back to a charity shop somewhere. But for now, until I can authenticate this or prove it one way or another, I'm calling this another Monica Lewinsky in the collection. Next up, another book. For those who followed my videos up until now, you know I'm a big fan of Welsh rugby, and I'm collecting books from Welsh rugby internationals, former rugby internationals, and this is the autobiography by Gareth Edwards, very famous Welsh rugby international. I've met Gareth before at a golf event randomly, but never got an autograph from him. Or I don't think I did. But you'll see here, this is signed in the front, Gareth Edwards, nice signature there at the bottom. So please add this to the ever-growing Rugby Internationals book collection. Next up, this is a TTM return. This is via private address, actually, so I can't share it, unfortunately. But this is Justin Chubb. Now, anybody who's not based in the UK and is kind of under the age of about 50, from sort of 20 probably will have no idea who this is or what program this is, but this is from the very, very funny series. This is Jinsey. There are only 2 series ever made. Completely random, really sort of bizarre and out there and crazy, quite like A League of Gentlemen, I suppose, but even more crazy and out there. Loads of huge stars were in it over the 2 series. But this is from one of the main characters and one of the writers, Justin Chubb, who played Arbiter Maven, who was one of the characters in here. So he signed the back of my photos. He's put, "To Carl, with my bestest wishes, may you receive the ball of your choice in the wedding lottery." And this is a quote from one of the episodes. That's him at the front with the white gloves on, and it says "Daily Greet, Justin, aka Arbiter Maven," and that's characters from This Is Jinsey. They're basically Justin Chubb and Chris Bran, who's the guy behind him, play almost all the characters in the series anyway. So they play loads of different characters. I've written to Chris as well, but haven't had a reply yet, so I'm hoping so. And then Justin also drew me this brilliant picture as well. From one of the tessellators in the series, and this is hand drawn by him, which is amazing. He's drawn it and coloured it, and which is fantastic, and signed it. So really pleased with this TTM. My first This Is Jinsey, I believe my first This Is Jinsey, but I'm hoping that Chris might reply at some point in the future. Next up, another book. This was a 50p purchase. You can see from the sticker on here, I didn't bother trying to peel it off because it was quite well stuck on. I'm a huge Monty Python fan. I actually met Michael Palin recently at an event and got some signed books from him. They're not on here yet because that's a little bit in the future in terms of adding stuff, but you'll see those at some point. But I popped into the charity shop. I'm always picking up and looking at any copies of Michael Palin's books in charity shops, and there normally are lots of them, particularly his travel books. Never found a signed one until this. Oh no, actually it's not true. I did find one signed copy of his autobiography, Halfway to Hollywood, a little while back, a year or two back. But this is the first of his travel books that I found signed. And you can see here it says, "To Jill from Michael Palin." Really nice, clear Michael Palin signature on the front page there. So yeah, really pleased. I will always add Monty Python to my collection. I currently have 3 copies of John Cleese's latest autobiography. I've got 2 copies of his creativity book. I've got 2 Michael Palin signed books now. I've got 1 Eric Idle. I've got a couple of Terry Jones. So the collection is growing, and it's becoming a bit of an addiction. I can't stop collecting Michael Palin, Monty Python stuff, and I probably won't ever, to be honest, because I'm such a big fan. Next up, this is a Doctor Who book. Now, I don't collect Doctor Who books. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, but I don't collect any of the novelizations, and I don't read them. Doesn't really interest me. I like the series, always watch it, always been a big fan of Doctor Who, but I'm not interested in reading the novelizations. But I picked this one up. This was a charity shop purchase. I think it was a couple of pounds, maybe £2, something like that. And this is the novel Shroud of Sorrow, and it's written by Tommy Donbavand. And the only reason I picked it up is because I knew that Tommy Donbavand sadly passed away several years ago, and this is the only book that he wrote in the novelizations. He had other involvements with Doctor Who, but this is the only novel that he wrote, and you can see it's got a massive inscription at the front, "To Isaac, Boo, Tommy Donbavand," with his squiggly signature there. So I had to get this one to add to the collection for a couple of pounds. I probably wouldn't pick up these normally, even if they were signed, just because most of the writers are not. That's not my area of interest. But I had to get this one, as I say, because Tommy sadly passed away, so I wanted to get this one in the collection. Next up, another book, completely random one again. I think this one was 50p. There's a sticker on. Yeah, 50p as well. You can see this one was, and this is Michael Barrymore. For those in the UK, you'll probably be more familiar with Michael Barrymore. Less so because of all the brilliant TV presenting he did through the 80s, and more so due to the controversy that surrounded his life, and the fact that somebody was found dead in his swimming pool at a party that he held. He's been sort of questioned by the police several times. He had a terrible stint in Celebrity Big Brother. Not somebody I'd go out specifically looking for, but I was in this charity shop just browsing around and found this book, and you see it's got a huge Michael Barrymore signature right across the front page. So didn't have him in my collection, do now. Happy to add him all the same. Next up, this is BBC foreign correspondent John Simpson. I believe this was a charity shop purchase. I believe this one cost me 50p or £1. It was certainly no more than that. John is kind of one of the top level BBC correspondents on the BBC News, current affairs, politics, all that sort of stuff. I believe he's done lots of war reporting over the years, and this is a copy of his childhood memoir. And you can see here, the book's not in brilliant condition. It doesn't look so bad here, but actually it wasn't in great condition. But I picked it up because there's a nice big signature across the top, John Simpson there. So had to pick that one up and add it into the collection. This next one is a private purchase. This was purchased via a Facebook group that I'm in with other collectors. A collector had a selection of items that his mother had collected over the years. She was a Doctor Who fan. He was a Doctor Who fan. But he needed to raise some money and was selling items from his mother. I know it's always a risk, but I kind of looked in the background of this guy. We've conversed before. He seems fairly genuine. So I took a punt. I believe this was £10, which for a William Russell isn't particularly terrible. Obviously, William's passed away now, but he's kind of the longest serving companion in a sense, because he was companion Ian during William Hartnell's run and was recently in the Ncuti Gatwa. Was it Ncuti Gatwa or was it the... No, it wasn't Ncuti. Was it Ncuti Gatwa or was it... Jodie Whittaker. I can't recall now whether he was at the end of the Jodie Whittaker run. I think, no, it was the end of the Jodie Whittaker run because Graham was in it. Bradley Walsh. Yes, it would have been at the end of the Jodie Whittaker run, and he made an appearance, and there's like 50-year time span between his last and next appearance or something. Anyway, I've got William in the collection lots of times before. I love this. It's like an A4 sized picture. Yes, it's dedicated, doesn't matter. I like the picture. It's really nice, and it's got a nice big signature on. So for about a tenner, I thought, why not? I'll get it and add it to the collection. And the last one, and this is probably one of my favourite pickups for a long time in charity shops. This was a charity shop purchase. I think this was 50p. It might have been £1. It was absolutely no more than that. £1 at the very, very most. And it's a copy of AC/DC's Brian Johnson's The Lives of Brian. So Brian Johnson is the lead singer, not the original lead singer, but the lead singer now of the band AC/DC, very famous Australian band. Very famous in the UK, had lots of charting hits in the UK. Just didn't expect to see anything. I picked this up, and as you can see, it's got this massive signature in the front with a special stamped approval certificate, certified thing in the front as well. And it says Brian Johnson. I've checked, most copies don't have this in, but any that he signed are signed and stamped as approval and certified. So had to get this. This is pride of place on my bookcase. Had to move some books around to make sure this was front and centre because it's a great copy. And that's it. That's all the autographs for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching. Sorry this one was a bit longer than normal. I rambled on a little bit. Please do the liking, subscribing and commenting stuff. I love to read your comments. I always say that's genuinely true. I'm hoping to maybe get one more of these up before Christmas, but if I don't, have a fantastic holiday, whatever you're doing, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy, relax, eat, drink and be merry, and I will see you again very, very soon. Take care. Thanks all. Bye-bye.